Well, Dr. Daniel Armstrong is one of the most modest, highly accomplished individuals. He has a deep, sincere care for the children with special needs and also for their families.
So I think one of the first things that comes to mind with Danny is equanimitas, which is the idea of philosophical calmness. And it's this idea there's all this madness roaming around, and you're staying calm, you're breathing deeply, you're thinking about what really matters. And Danny has managed over 20 years to sort of stay in the middle of all these healthcare storms and say, what really matters? What are our values? Where do we want to go? And keep everyone pointed in the right direction.
I was born in North Carolina in a town called Albemarle. My dad was a Methodist minister, very focused on social and civil issues. And I learned from him the importance of compassion. We moved around. Dad was an Army chaplain for a while, and I went to a British school and came back to North Carolina, went to high school, met this delightful young woman who became my best friend and will be my wife of 45 years this summer. Then when I got to Duke, I realized that I really loved doing things with children. And one of the families that I was working with had a child that was diagnosed with leukemia. And at that point, I really got interested in what are the psychological and family issues that are faced when a child has what that time was really a terminal disease. And then we got this job offer at the Mailman Center at the University of Miami. We came to love this community. I started as a psychologist working in the childhood cancer and sickle cell and HIV area, and then shifted over to director of Mailman in 1999. It has been a real joy. We've been able to grow a program that developing large training programs where we create the workforce of tomorrow, and very excitedly over the last 5 or 6 years engaging with community partners to help the communities that they live and work in identify the things that they were not able to do for children with special needs.
Danny excels at trying to pull together different people with different ideas and different agenda and say what really matters. Danny is able to pull together a diverse group of people and head us all in the same direction.
He has served as a consultant, a committee chair, an advisor, several institutions in the National Institute of Health, to the FDA, to the White House. He has influenced policy. He has provided the means for funding for research, not just here in the University of Miami, but throughout the state. Well, Dr. Armstrong has been very prolific in terms of writing and publishing to get the word out that if you have this type of disorder, this is what you can expect.
If something that I've done in sickle cell disease, in cancer, someone else picks up and says, this is something I can do with these children that are in my clinic, then that has a multiplying effect of really improving lives. And if we do that, the real impact of our scholarship is that it actually helps us to impact the way that care is provided and the outcomes occur for children worldwide. We had an opportunity to sit in my office with Eunice Shriver, who drove Special Olympics, the creation of the NICHD, the first public special education law, the creation of the centers like we have, and I was in awe. And Mrs. Shriver was, I guess, about 88 at the time, and then she leaned forward and said, "What's next?" And that one question has really driven so much of what we've done over the last 10 years. Our challenges are children don't have access to all kinds of care. We have workforce shortages in so many areas of pediatrics, but when it gets to development behavior, they're critical.
If you go into a meeting with Danny, you're going to come out with 15 new ideas. He's always imagining what the future is going to look like, what makes sense, where can we go. And that idea, it's sometimes been called appreciative inquiry. Instead of worrying about everything that's not working, everything that might be broken, it's like, where do we go next? How do we fix things? How do we make it work? So Danny always has new ideas about the future, and it's part of what makes him a great leader.
My hope for the future is that we can reach a legal and governance and culture change that would allow the different children's hospitals, the providers in our community, to not compete with one another, but to find ways to create integrated networks where we have the very best expertise, the very best research, that you have this incredible regional center that has the best outcomes in the world. I do believe and hope that before I leave this earth, that we'll see that kind of network, and that when a child needs something, that it is the very best that they can get in the world, and the most they have to travel is 30 miles.
Danny's not the sort of person who says, I want to be the one with my name in lights. He's the one who's always getting everyone in the same direction. So I think it's hard to recognize sometimes people who do that, who knit our community together.
I do not expect him to slow down at all. I expect him to keep going and looking for needs that are unmet, looking for opportunities to really improve the lives of children with special needs, not only for the child, but also for that child's family.
Danny, I just want to say congratulations. We've had a great ride, and you are clearly a healthcare hero, not just to me, but to the entire community. So thank you for all that you've done for us.
You set the model for all of us and the example for all of us to emulate in terms of productivity combined with humility. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all that you have done for us and wish you the very best. Congratulations.